This paper is for my apartment complex. During COVID. So I don't think I need this. Because a lot of the information was from the start of COVID. So thank you to everybody who has subscribed or liked my channel. It really means a lot to me. I am working on a solution for how to make my videos be able to be shot wide so that they better fit into the YouTube format. Right now I only have a tripod with a vertical phone holder, and I struggle to even get my phone in that, so there's no way I could even make it go sideways. I tried like setting it on top, but that was really just a lot of you guys looking at my nostrils, so that was a no-go for me. So, tonight, I thought maybe we would just talk about random stuff as usual. But tonight I thought I might talk to you guys about the fact that I have lived abroad. So, my heart gets me into trouble a lot. I always want to believe the best in people. And, so, when I was younger, I was engaged to a man. And about 5 days before we were supposed to get married, he got deported. It was really scary. Like, ICE agents came and knocked on my door, and they showed me a picture of my fiance and asked me if I had seen him, and he had gone to let our golden retriever out, and the moment they saw him, they pushed me right out of the way and got him in cuffs, and they told me I wasn't allowed to call anyone because, like, I want to say like 19, 20. So I was going to call my mom, and they were like, no phone calls, not until we've left. And they asked all kinds of questions, and like, I didn't really understand what was going on. Because, like, I knew he was here on a green card, and that if we got married, like, he could apply for citizenship. But, you know, I thought he was good. I thought he was here legally and everything was good. Well, months because they kept telling me like, oh, come here and then you can fly there and you guys can get married and you can bring him back and you'll have your happily ever after and whatever. So I fly to New York, Queens, and they all kept assuring me that it would be like, even like the agency that was holding him kept saying it would be like a week, and it was not a week. I had to live with his parents for like 6 months. He was taken December 20th because we were going to get married in New York at Christmas. Because that's where his family lived. And it was like Valentine's Day passed and New Year's passed and like all these holidays kept passing, and it was like, so finally they deported him. And I flew to Guyana. We got married in the back of a store by a one-legged man. We were going to get married in the little ashram at this store because it is a Hindu country. But I'm not sure if I said he was from Guyana, South America. The only country in the world that decreases in population every year. And I relocated there. And I relocated there being this pale. It was not a good situation, guys. So we got married. We were gonna get married in the ashram, but I had eaten rank. That's what they call meat or animal products. So I wasn't allowed in the ashram. So we got married in the back of a store by a one-legged guy. Very romantic. And I called my parents to let them know that I had gotten married. Like they knew I was going there for that, but I'm sure it was still like emotional and whatever. And so we get married and we are driving home, and it is absolutely nothing like America, guys. I learned so many valuable lessons. It's not even so, like, and plus it's just kind of more, like, sing-songy almost. Like, they just really vary their tone and stuff while they're speaking. And they also just have a lot of weird slang. And, like, I don't know, like, some of it, I think, is Jamaican slang too, but a lot of it isn't. Like, so I was living with my husband's sister and her husband because they were some of the wealthiest people in the country. So, you know, we were lucky because we had glass in our windows and indoor plumbing. And, like, if you go to the mall there, it's like $200 Guyanese, I think, to use a bathroom. A lot of us would not make it. And then other people just go in, like, the trenches on the side of the road, because, like, the side of all the roads, there's like 6 and 7 foot trenches of water. So they were very well to do, and I honestly feel like I don't even know how I got to this point in what I was talking about. I got it. I got it back. See, maybe this is helping my brain. It's making me form a coherent story. It's good exercise. So, like, they were really wealthy, even by American standards, but by Guyanese standards, they were freaking Bill Gates or Elon Musk. So they had a maid, and the maid was paid $5 in American currency per week. Yeah, imagine. I think the annual income's like $900 a year. And you see all kinds of sketchy stuff, like wagons being pulled by some questionable animals with some kid in the front holding a lantern for like a headlight. Like, I saw some stuff, you guys. But besides the maid, they also had a young girl who was a nanny, and she was always goofing off, and his sister had asked me to keep an eye on her and stuff. So she had been washing the baby's bottles for like 3 hours, and there were like 10 of them. And so I like went in there, and not wanting to be like the white privilege bitch, I don't know, I was like, come on, Pokey, what's taking so long? And her face drained of all the blood. She was just, because apparently in Guyana, Pokey is slang for vagina. Yeah, I felt like an ass and a half. So I'll never forget that. I was insulting without even knowing I was being insulting. And like, I would have to have him like translate the songs for me because like there was one song he listened to and it said like, don't kiss a girl when she's on code red, which like obviously I can figure that one out, but it also said never kiss a girl when she has low lips. Lots of community resource papers. So Lolo is slang for male genitalia, the phallic ones. So there was just a lot of cultural things. His dad always called me Champa Chameli. I still don't know if that was mean or nice. I guess I never will. One time I was watching the local television station and a caller called in and said something bad about the president of Guyana, who I think also had the first name Donald. Thinking back. But somebody called in to the television station and said something bad about the president. Within like, I'd say 15 minutes, there were troops storming the TV station, and it was taken off air, and it never came back on while I lived there, which was a good 6 months. So it really made me realize how much this is a notice they gave everyone in our building about the odor of marijuana coming from the building. I live in federally subsidized housing for domestic violence victims, and so even though marijuana is legal in Michigan for both recreational and medical use, since it is a federal property, no marijuana use is allowed here. And even if you have a med card, and I'm sure you can imagine how well people follow it. I mean, I do, because I'm just that type of person. I'm a rule follower. If you set a rule, like, I'm gonna have a tough time breaking it. So yeah, I never saw it come back on the air, and it really taught me how much of our freedom we take for granted. Like going to a market and buying meat just like hanging and stuff, or like the actual markets. Like, I was a big knitter at the time before I was diagnosed with MS and everything, and the only market I could get yarn at, we had to carry a gun for me to be able to go, because obviously I stuck out like a sore thumb, and it didn't help that I was fairly oblivious. I can't tell you how many times I walked through a market with them shouting, "Hey Whitey," and I didn't realize it was me. Like, one of the Guyanese men, who was my husband's friend, had to be like, "You know, girlie, they're talking to you." And I was like, because it's so contrary to our culture here in America. Like, they would say stuff like, oh, my name's Munesh, or Devanath, or Prahlad, or, but call me Brownie and Black Boy, and I don't know, I just wasn't ever comfortable. It was kind of like I would just avoid. I'd be like, that guy. I don't know. I couldn't see any way to not look racist in this situation. A letter about my son being enrolled in the early on program. So, yeah, it kind of sucked. I couldn't really go out a whole lot because I was such a high risk target or whatever for kidnapping, especially because I was living, with a super wealthy family. So, and was a family member now, and anyways, I ended up, originally they told me I had to go down there, we'd live there for a year, and then we'd be able to come back. Then my lawyer's like, well, no, you can't live there, because they'll say, if you can live here, why does he need citizenship? Why can't you just come here? It's not really a hardship. And so I ended up coming back, having to get a full-time job. I flew back once, about a year later, for our immigration interview, which that's a whole video of its own. You guys wouldn't believe the questions and stuff they ask, and I don't know, it's just a lot of weird stuff. Oh, and I could tell you about the time I was threatened by a TSA agent and almost didn't get allowed on a flight because I was sobbing hysterically. But we'll save that for another time because my videos have been getting really long, and it makes it harder to edit them and upload them, and it's just been wasting a lot of time. I mean, I'm still going to make longer videos, but I'm trying to do some shorter videos as well. So these are some, the other part of the shipping label that eBay prints when you're a seller, with tracking numbers and stuff. They are really old, and they don't have any information on them that I don't already have somewhere else. So I don't really need them. These ones I'll probably burn after tearing, just because I like to be really conscientious of not leaking. I mean, it only has somebody's name and their shipping address, but I don't know, I wouldn't want that information of mine being discovered because of someone else. existing